Hello, my name is Skip, and this is from the Fourth Rows review of Into the Storm. Now, Into the Storm takes place in the Midwest, around Texas area. It's basically a film that has a lot of shaky cam and documentary footage. We start out with Donnie and Trey, two brothers, who are planning on filming the schools that they go to, the high school that they go to's graduation, and they have a father named Gary, who's played by Richard Armitage. You may know Richard Armitage as Thorin Oakenshield from the Hobbit movies. Now Gary is the assistant principal, and so he's involved with the school's graduation as an assistant principal, so he wants to make sure that his boys are there. Well, Trey challenges challenges Donnie to go talk to this girl named Caitlin, and I guess he's kind of nervous and he likes her, so he ends up talking to her, and she convinces him to go film a video of her talking about this rundown paper mill. Well, in the meantime, we have Pete and Allison, Matt Walsh and Sarah Wayne Callies. They're playing storm chasers. Now Pete, he hasn't seen a storm in quite a while, and so he's really kind of chomping at the bit to get a good storm out in the Midwest. By storm I mean tornado. And somebody that's been hired on, Allison, she's supposed to give him the Doppler and all the computer science that goes into finding storms. Well, they find a storm, and it's coming to around where they're at, and so this is the big storm that Pete is looking for, and Allison finally gets him to agree that, okay, let's go chase this storm. And while the storm is coming, they end up having the graduation, and Donnie's filming the video with Caitlin, and so needless to say, mayhem ensues. Now, I can believe that in the Midwest there are certain things you can expect. Tornadoes, Texas, Kansas, Oklahoma, those areas are tornado alley. We've seen some of the destruction that tornadoes can go. My thing is, I just thought Into the Storm went a little bit too far, without getting too much into detail, that the storms are just way too big, way too fancy. The special effects are amazing. They have a specially made tank. Pete has a specially made tank to chase storms, and it's got all these cameras. Ironically enough, it happens to have all these cameras, so you have this whole shaky cam footage, and then you have the documentary footage by Donnie and Trey. Well, of course, as the movie goes along, people get stuck and they get in trouble. Donnie and Caitlin get trapped under a bunch of rubble in the factory that they're filming. The high school is under fire from the storm, and they have to go hide in the hallways. And then, of course, Pete and Allison, they are running around chasing the storms. If it was just that, I could buy it. And I'm not a big fan of the shaky cam, but they just go way overboard with the storms, and it's just I don't believe these people are really in danger. I don't really care about these characters per se. I have not invested enough time with these people to really care about these high school kids and their assistant principal and these storm chasers. I just feel like they don't give us enough time to get to know the characters, and then they force us to say, okay, these characters are in peril, and now there's giant tornadoes, and they're trying to survive giant tornadoes. And the special effects are phenomenal, as always. I just feel like Richard Armitage is trying to hide his accent a lot, you know, and because I believe he's British, and he's really fighting to not talk in a British accent in this movie. But the rest of the cast, I just felt I was more interested to see if somebody would actually die than the people that, you know, if they were going to try to live through this event. So I'm going to give Into the Storm a skip it, and I like disaster movies, you know, Tower Inferno, Titanic, Twister, but I thought the characters, and then there was these two idiots, these comedic idiot guys that are trying to get their clicks on YouTube, and they were just in there for the comedy relief, and I just thought they were just a waste of my time. I mean, I was like, I didn't care about these guys. So that's a skip it for Into the Storm. This is Skip, and this has been From the Fourth Row's review of Into the Storm.